Is the mic on? Yeah, there you go. Hi, how are you? Fantastic. So I am in the between of your tea break and I think the end of the day, and I know you have your forum after this. So I'm going to start. Are you ready? Okay, we're just going to begin, all right? We're just allow all those people who are outside to just come on in. So there you go. This is me. Hello. Good day. Ni hao. Ni hao. How are you? I say good day there because I live in Melbourne. Not just because of anything. I am Malaysian. You can probably guess. But I do live in the beautiful city of Melbourne. It is, yes, one of the best cities to live in the world. So is Kuala Lumpur. Oh, you guys are like, you're like, oh. What do you mean by that? Is that emotional link to Kuala Lumpur? I get it too. Who's been to Melbourne? Oh, all right. Don't worry, I won't buy you coffee when you're there. You've been there. All right? But it has the best coffee in the world. Well, we claim to be, anyway. The best lattes. And I'm just really happy to be here. Today we're going to talk about this word called engage. Everybody say engage. And I was right at the back there just now with Dr. Chris. So I'm very careful about my movements now. Because Dr. Chris could be anywhere just watching me and saying, aha, there you go. You know? Engage. And you know the subtitle under there? Can you read it? Is this too small for you? How to stop living life in default and start living the life you desire. That's right. By the way, this is the title of my next book. And no promotions, don't worry, but it's coming out in August, just to let you know. And today I'm going to give you a sneak preview. Who likes a sneak preview? Like, you like to sneak in to watch a movie, right? You know? Especially when it's a couple of days before its launch, yeah? Avengers is coming on, yeah? I'm just wishing I could be there on like a Wednesday night or a Tuesday for those, you know. But today, in this next 1 hour, that's right, I will take 1 hour. I don't care how long Dr. Chris took, I'm going to take my 1 hour. Is that okay? Are you going to be with me in the 1 hour? Yes. That's fantastic. This is the first time I'm here with Toastmasters, truthfully, probably about 20 plus years ago, where I could have joined Toastmasters. I didn't because I thought it was a Yam Seng gang. You know, and I said, you know, forget it. I'm not going to, you know, do that. But I didn't realize you guys are making such big impact. I'm serious about this. I'm not here just standing here and say, well done, you know, because, you know what? I'm already paid. Okay? So, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be associated with you. I'm glad to bring you through this 1 hour. I hope it's not a waste of your time. And I know it's not going to be a waste of your time because all of you are going to change your life after this 1 hour. That I guarantee. What did I say? For those who are listening, after this 1 hour, your life will change. Who wants it? Okay, all right, here we go. So this is my life. This is me. No, I'm not dead, don't worry. Okay? 1994 is when I started work. Yeah, I started when I was like 5 years old, you know. So 1994 when I started work, and it was fantastic. I worked for 12 years. Then 2005, we decided to move on to Australia, right? So we migrated to Australia in 2005, and that was the same year where I walked into this thing called coaching. And there you see, my name is now called Coach Mel, and for those who knows me, I'm known as Coach Mel. And in 2005, and I put that ... my life was changed. Truth, I didn't have a job in Australia. I was on the top of my game when I left Malaysia. I was general manager at a young age, about 30. Oh, my age is being told now. Oh my gosh. No. What I meant was 20. But I went to Australia, and the first job I got was selling water. By the way, special company, because it's a Singaporean company, hire Malaysian, obviously, right? You get it, right? But we didn't just sell water. I manufactured water with some of my sales guys. I delivered water. I door knocked and sold water all across Melbourne. But you know what? It was that year that changed my life. Because I had to start peeling off those things in my life where I thought was important. Do you get it? You know, sometimes we've got all this experience. And I know a lot in this room, I can see some younger people and then some younger people. You get it? You get what I mean? And we all have different layers on this onion. You agree? And sometimes we need to a little bit of that unpeeling of that onion because it reveals a different part of us. And sometimes the inner core is what is needed in this season. How many get it, what I'm trying to say? What is needed in this season is very important. So today I'm going to bring you through a couple of things. Number one is the 7 areas that are going to stop you as you live your life and you think your life is fine, but it could be a default life. There are 7 areas you've got to be watching out for. And then I'm going to give you 5 things. How many? 5 things to help you engage with your life to move forward into your future. Are you ready? All right, here we go. Time. Time is all we have. You and me. That's all we have. We have that similar denominator. Time is the only thing that is the same. Only problem is, you and I don't know what's going to happen. Agree? If you know, you won't be sitting here. I'm not joking. You'll be doing something else, perhaps. But you know what? The fact that you are here also means that you value something with your time. And that's why you're here and not out there having a coffee break. Because the ones that are out there having a coffee break now and not later are perhaps not going to get what I'm going to say. But it's fine, because life still continues. Get it? Time will still pass you by. Look at this. This is the default mode, and we're up here. We're looking at all those nice stuff that we have. You know what? I do have those stuff as well. But sometimes I ask myself, would I want to exchange what I have with what I really want in life? And that's a question that you need to start asking yourself. So I'm going to jump in straight because I've only got 1 hour. So I'm going to jump in straight into default mode. Everyone say default mode. Say it again, default mode. That's not where you want to be. And the first area of default is this. The statement first. Very powerful statement. Anyone heard that before? And this default mode starts off with us in our status quo and routines. Hey, don't get me wrong, I love my routines too. I love my constant day, yeah? So it's not changeable. So it is predictable because I want a sense of control over my day. How many like that? Come on, be honest, right? You don't like unpredictability. But however, sometimes our status quo, as it says, will keep us at the same place. And we're wondering what happened as everything around us moves on, we're still here. That's what technology is doing every single day. How many here are involved in cryptocurrency? Don't be shy again, put up your hand. I am. Great. That's only like 0.0 something % of this room. Cryptocurrency is just one small thing of the world. Small thing. There are many other stuff that is happening at breakneck speed that you and I cannot keep up to. Status quo and routine. Let's think about it. What can we change with our status quo? The second one, I'm going to go through really fast, is the pain and pleasure. Pain and pleasure. This is that push and pull, you know? That push and pull factor. That carrot versus stick, right? The pain and pleasure. You know, sometimes we're stuck in a certain place. You recognize that? We're stuck in a certain place. We might enjoy what we have, but we're still complaining. Come on. We might say, hey, you know, Malaysia, Malaysia. And that's how we talk, right? Malaysia lah. And we say Malaysia boleh. We don't say Malaysia boleh. We say Malaysia boleh lah. Like that lah, you know. You know, I know lah. You know, we talk like that, right? You get it? But we didn't realize that what we are complaining is what we are also happy about. Because when we have some Singaporeans in the room, and I know there are a few here, I'm sorry to say that, we're like, Malaysia boleh. Okay? Singapore go bad lah. I close the water, then you know. You know, but when we're in Singapore, what we do? We're like, Singapore, very nice. Wow, very expensive also. But very clean. Yo, action. Action. I better go back to Malaysia now. So you realize that each one of us have a bit of that pushy, pulley thing. You get it? We're here and we're not really here. Right? We're stuck in the in-between, the abyss. And we choose it sometimes because it is comfortable. Am I speaking into you now? Deeper? Whatever I'm saying, I'm speaking to me first. I hope you realize that. I've gone through this pile of dung in my life, and I continuously go through it because I want to make sure I'm not living life in the fall. Number 3 is fear. Fear. That's right, fear. And a lot of different types of fear. Some of us are fearful of heights. Some of us are fearful of the wife. Spouse, partner. Some are fearful of the stage. No. Not Toastmasters, people. Never fearful of the stage. Who would like to come up here next to me right now? Come on. The next question in your head is for what? Right now. For what? Because we have a little bit of fear. Every one of us have it. Little bit of fear in us that just kind of we use as like a, protect us from the unknown. That's what it is. Whatever your fear is, you've got to come face to face with it. I was fearful of heights before. And you know what I did with fear of heights? I pushed myself over the barrier. So I went bungee jumping. How many have done bungee jumping here? Yeah, many hands. Wow, great. None. Maybe one. And then I pushed myself. I love roller coasters after that, but I'm still fearful. So when I went on a holiday in Orlando, I was the big kid. I went to Universal Studios, and next to Islands of Adventure, I sat on every ride, just to push my fear of heights and speed. And then the next ultimate thing was to do skydiving. Any skydivers here? Oh, wow, fantastic. And I did that. And you know what? I had to carry someone on my back on top of that. Some of you get it. Fear holds us back. Next one. And it's linked to fear, which is failure. Some of us are fearful of failing. And you know what? When you're fearful of failing, what happens? You don't try. You don't attempt. How many of you here want to start your own business? Or thinking, dreaming, desiring, oh yeah, I want my business, I'll run it differently from everybody. My business. Yeah, keep your hands up, come on. Not the ones who already have a business, right? The ones who don't have a business but want to start a business. Okay, come and see me later, okay? No, but one of the things that hold us back, like me, was failure. I was like, I've never done it before, And then worst of all, I have my father who comes and tell me, hey, don't you start business, huh? After like your uncle like that? You see? Your uncle suffer, isn't it? And then he lists down so many other relatives that suffer. What is that? That is linked to what I'm going to say on another slide, but it's not here. I'm just being very truthful to you. It's a bit of a mismatch, but it's okay. I'm not living life in default. In the old me, I would say, let me tell another story. No, it's the next slide, I'll tell you. But it's linked to the old ways as well. And you see, my father, of all the great things that he's done, and he's my role model as well, don't get me wrong, but he's not my role model for business. Are you getting it? He was loyal to the brink. He was loyal to this company called Lever Brothers, Unilever today. And then he was loyal to Guinness Anchor, right? Or Guinness, right? Guinness. Even though he never drank, he was loyal. He get everyone else to drink, right? He was great, right? I got free booze in my house anytime. So I grew up very differently. But one thing my dad said was, be loyal like me, son. Don't start your business. Work with someone. So silly, isn't it? You want to take the risk of your family on the line? Forget it. So what did I do as a good son? Yes, Dad. Like we normally do. But you know what? You see, the old ways sometimes is the thing. The very thing that could be holding you back. And related to that old thing is having no choice. No choice. We say, ayah, typical Malaysian style, right? Ayah, no choice lah. Like that one, no? Okay, what? Life's still okay, right? Complain about what? At least got food on the table, can go and eat mama, Can have a little bit of this and that. Now can fly everybody with Air Asia. So cool. You get it? But we tell ourselves internally, no choice lah. Or sometimes we say what? Time has passed, right? Time has passed. Maybe in those days, I would consider. But now, married already, got children already, You don't understand, Mel. Cannot lah. I'm here to tell you, you have a choice. Because only at 30 plus, I decided on my change. And if I had a 2-hour slot, I'll give you a lot more examples. I don't. I only have 1 hour. No choice. And the next one is this, because we often listen to what others say, think, feel, and do. And now you're beginning to listen to those voices again. Because those voices are really true in your life, right? It could be from a person that you thought was your role model, but then actually on hindsight, after the years that have gone by, they're actually not a role model. The other one's practically holding you back. But you didn't realize that in those days. And today, you just make amends and say, it's okay, I forgive them lah. I just quietly forgive them inside. But they held me back. No. Today is your day. Today is your day to step out from whatever place that you are at and take that step. I'm going to help you get there. Are you still with me? That's good. He is. Fantastic. Are you still with me? Don't go into too much of that thinking right now. I know you're like, oh, no, yeah, true, last time. Forget it. It's gone. Water under the bridge. Let's move on. Tell your next neighbor, it's time to move on. Come on, next to you. Now the other side. It's time to move on. That's right. Just don't leave this auditorium yet. It's not time to move on. Here we go. Default mode. That's the 7 areas that you and I get stuck in. There could be more, but I just chose the 7 because I felt over the years of coaching, 13 years right now, I've met so many people that tell me that they want another life than what they have right now. I coach leaders of companies. So they would have 25 years in their experience. Hang on a minute, I also have 25 years. That's how old I am. 25 years, and they talk about it like it was something that they cannot run away from. Have you met people? I'm just sidetracking a little bit. Is that okay? Have you met people when you say, hey, how are you? What can you tell me about yourself? Who are you? And they'll say, well, I'm a senior vice president of the bank, you know. And then 5 years later, you meet them and they say, you know, I was the ex-senior vice president of this bank. Are you getting it? You see, because their identity was tied to what they call their job. Often, we do that, right? I hope during tea time you don't go out there and saying these stuff. Because actually, people are wanting to know something deeper about you. Okay? That's another whole training by itself. I won't get into that. But are you ready to move forward? Oh, actually, I can't let you go forward yet. There is an activity. It's called the traffic light. You've seen the traffic light? Remember, not Malaysian style. Because Malaysian style, any color also can go. No, okay? It's not Malaysian style, all right? In Australia, oh, yo. I tried that, I kena. 300 plus Aussie dollars lesson. You will never want to make the lesson again. Who wants to make the lesson? No, thank you. I'll be obedient. But Malaysia, no problem. But you know, this is a very quick, if you have your phone or you have something to write, write it down. It's very quick. This is just a very quick exercise to help you go through this life in default. The first one is stop. What do you need to stop in your life? That's right. It's coming to your head right now. What do you need to stop doing in your life? You know, sometimes it is the thing that is taking so much of your day. Checking your status of how many likes are there on your recent post. You check it 25 times. I'm not joking, and that's little. We have to stop certain things before the next thing is we need to know what to slow down, not go faster. Malaysian style is go faster. Richie's laughing, it's not go faster. It is slow down. Because there are parts in our life that you know you're going too fast. So you're burning both ends of the stick. You get it? You're going too fast and you need to slow down. I'm a very driven person. Those who know me will know that I have like 10 projects in the air. Too many. And that's only side A. There's side B as well. I need to tell myself, Mel, you got to slow down. Now with my constant travel, I travel between Asia and Australia every month. I'm cranking up a lot of Malaysian Airlines points, but I'm missing out on a lot of things. I've got to ask myself, what do I have to slow down? Because my kids ain't waiting to grow up. They are going and growing with me or without me. Are you getting it? And the third one is what? Go. It's very simple. What do you need to start doing? Start doing today. And we'll talk about that very soon, okay? Are you ready? Here we go. Time check. Very fast. Engage. There are 4 types of people. You may have heard of this before. The first one, it's called the prisoners. You've heard of this before? Some of you? Who's heard of this before? Okay, who doesn't like to put up your hand? It's okay. So there are prisoners. Prisoners are what? People that you take everywhere. The other ones are no choice what? I gotta go there. The fellow pulling me. You get it? So in life, we can be prisoners of our own life. That's right. And the second one, spectators. We're on the sidelines. We're like, woo-hoo-hoo! We can cheer you on, but don't get me involved. Okay? I will cheer you on, but no, it's not for me. I'll be here. I'll cheer you on. And then the third type of person is what? The tourist. Oh, I feel I'm a tourist a lot sometimes, especially when I come back to Malaysia, like, ooh, thank goodness I can cabot, You know what I mean? Some of you get it. But, I feel that way sometimes, but I feel one of the reasons I'm here as well is to stay on for, it's not supposed to be political, but, stay on for something lah, okay? So I have to stay on. I want to stay on. So I'm telling my family, I can't come home yet. It's optimum time for me to stay on for this very important event. The Toastmasters stuff, of course. The other one is in May. So you get it. But it's tourist. Are we acting like a tourist sometimes in our own country? In our own life. Are we acting as a tourist in our own life, which means what? We only go to those places we like to go. We don't like to visit those difficult places, which means what? We don't like to have the difficult conversations. We don't like to talk to certain people, in our life. Yes, you know it. They're also coming to your head now. Forget them. Put them aside right now. But, all those difficult things, we kind of put it aside because what? We like to live in that tourist world because, you know what? Like a tourist, they can just wipe your hands and then say, goodbye. See you later. But the fourth, which is very important, is, are you an explorer? Because the explorer comes in and make its presence felt. The explorer stays on. The explorer makes an impact so deep that it impacts other people down the road. If you're a leader of your chapter or your area or your club, you have an important responsibility to be an explorer, right? To be an explorer. Because if you're not an explorer, the rest of the members will become like you. You get it? I'm not saying whichever you're not. So let's move on. That's default, and this is where you want to go. You see, everything within you is already there. You have arrived, actually. But it's just sometimes we're just too afraid to declare we have arrived. So that's 5 desire modes that I'm going to go through with you. The first one, read this first. Steve Jobs said this. It's an amazing quote. And I guess you recognize the fact that no one lives forever, but his products will, I guess. So the first point is engage your purpose. Are you engaging your purpose today? That's right. each of us, I believe, has a purpose or a seed within you that only you can bring forth. I'm going to tell you a story. His name is W. Mitchell. I don't know whether you know him. You see, W. Mitchell was born in the 50s, right? And he lived in San Francisco. And he loves bikes, big bikes. And one fine day when he was on his big bike, crossing the green light, not the other lights, and a laundry truck came by, running the red, and it clipped him under the truck. His cap of his motorcycle came off. The fuel became, once it hit the air, what does it become? And he was clipped. So he was caught ablaze on his whole body. Thank goodness he was wearing his helmet. If not, he would have been dead. So he suffered 4th-degree burns to almost 40-50% of his body. Can you believe that? Going through skin grafts after skin grafts to go through, and today he looks like this. And he says that, I'm the best looking guy because I've gone through many plastic surgeries. He's a bit of a joker, right? But you know what? It didn't stop there. It didn't stop him, even though he looked like a monster. And when little kids was around him, they would say, "Oh my goodness, you look like a monster," because kids never lie. But he could give fist pumps, right? Because he didn't have fingers anymore, all burned out. So he usually gives fist pumps. He took up flyer's license, right? Flying a little twin propeller plane. Well done, he did it. He got his license on his maiden flight. Woo! 4 of his friends went onto the plane and fantastic takeoff, and it crashed. Thank goodness all 4 came out not hurt. But he was stuck. He's like, "Oh, how come I can't get out of the plane, of the seat?" He broke his spine. So not only he looked so fantastic, he also couldn't walk anymore here down and became forever on the wheelchair. Now, you would say, this is a sad story. Is there more of this sad story? Would you like to be like him? No? But you know what? That was his purpose. And people will be like, "What? Is his purpose to be like that?" A very unfamous guy in the 80s called him one day and say, "I want you to come onto my stage." His name is, Robbins? What Robbins? I don't know lah. Very not so famous guy, It's like, "W. Mitchell, I'll send you my chartered plane and get you to the stage where the conference is 6,000 people. And W. Mitchell goes like, "I can't do that. What am I going to say?" "Well, just tell them your story." You know what? When an opportunity comes like that, you know what will happen to me, perhaps? I'll be like, "No, nobody wants to hear my poor little story." Are you getting it? Because all of us have poor little stories, don't we? And we say what? No. Default mode, knocking at your door. Don't allow that to happen. And so W. Mitchell he mustered all his, bravery and said, yes, I'll get on your stage, but that'll be the first and the last time. Forget it. I'm not going to do that anymore. But you know what? That became the platform for him. That was 30 years ago. And he became a fantastic motivational speaker worldwide. I had the pleasure to meet him. Yeah, there he goes. Because we brought him to Malaysia in 2012 for a conference for about 300 people at KLCC. And he was amazing. Obviously, he was in his wheelchair. He's a fantastic man. What is your purpose? This is W. Mitchell's story. What is yours? Does it stop there where you're at? When you find your purpose, there are 4 things. Please take it down if you've never gone through this. What are you paid for? What are you good at? What do you love doing? And what does the world need? And when you can find these 4 answers for yourself, you begin to find your purpose. It took a while for me to do that myself. This little format is called the Ikigai. How many have heard of the Ikigai? Ikigai is for Japanese, and it says to find your reason of being. Because they believe that every Japanese has a reason for being. What are you paid for is often known as, when you put it all 4 into one of these, this is the 4 quadrants. Look at that. What you're paid for is usually what you're good at. You get it? Yeah? And then the next one is what you're good at is linked to what you love. It's called, so it moves from profession into mission. Into passion. Because that's where your heart is. And it's further away from the money, because even if you don't get paid, it is okay. You get it? It's like me. If you give me a stage with 5 people listening, I will share the same way. Because I'm passionate about what I'm sharing. It's like everyone else who has a chance to be on this platform, and your own platform. Bring that passion. Next is what the world needs and what you love doing, and that's tied to a mission. And that mission goes further than just your world. Sometimes it goes maybe into a different area that you're unfamiliar with. And I'll share my story in a moment. And the last one is called vocation. Because when the money is tied to that world need, there is vocation. That's the reason why you see a lot of NGOs start out with different causes of what? Answering one area of the world's need, like water, charity water. You've heard of that? That's where money is as well. And money will be poured forth for a cause, not for yourself, but for a cause bigger than yourself. You understand? So that's your purpose. In summary, it is what you're paid for, what you live for, what you stand for, and what you're called for. And when you can answer all 4, you create this thing called the Ikigai. Don't worry, it may not take immediately for you to understand what's happening to you, but it will take some time. One of the things I do is obviously we have classes on that, but I'm not selling anything here today. I'm just saying that it is so important for you to understand that star of yours, because if not, you will try to be a different star. It's a bit quiet now. What I'm saying is, you will try to be a different star. You try to shine that way. It's like, oh, if I follow exactly like what Richie is. Sorry, put it in the spot, man. I just met him, actually. Not planted. Just met him outside. I saw he was 2009, 2010. If you just follow to be like Richie, let me tell you, you may just be part of Richie. You get it? Because Richie has his own dynamic, unique purpose. And only he can be Richie. Are you getting it? Right, Richie? Unless there's another Richie in this room. Richie? Okay. That's the first one. The second one is engage happy. Checking time. I know I have a little bit more time, right, Melvin? Because of that crossover. Is that all right? 25 more minutes. Thank you. Are you happy? I was like, yeah. I'm still going to go on with my passion. Engage happy. Because when you don't get engaged happy and you engage something else, what happens? There is no joy. There is no joy in what you're doing. Ask yourself, are you still joyful in Toastmasters? That's a real question, isn't it? Are you still as joyful as you were in that day when you got a certain level? You get what I mean? You've got to engage happy every day. And you know what? Happiness doesn't come to you. Happiness is within you. I'll share a second story. This story is a little boy, 4 years old. What his parents didn't know that this boy's eyesight was very bad. Matter of fact, the last 4 years when he was 0 to 4, they didn't think he needs specs. But his eyesight was like 900 plus. You know what 900 plus is? Who wears specs and understand that? 9 plus if you use a different version. 9 plus. So this parent said, we've got to take him to see a doctor because now at 4 years old, he's watching this TV, right? It's a big TV and he's just right in front looking like that. Because it's 9 plus, right? Or 900 plus. And when the parent says, we're going to go back and see grandparents, this is the grandparents, what the son will do? The son will bring it closer and look at it. Now I can see grandparents. But you know what? This third child was the happiest of all the children. This third child never fell down even once before. Actually, he did. He tumbled twice down the stairs, but he got up smiling. This third child is my son. And as a parent, I felt totally hopeless. Sorry, the word is useless. Because the last 4 years, I never knew he lived his life in a blur. And then when I recall, I realized that every time when he kisses us goodnight, he had to bring our faces and pull it close to this level so that he could see my face. Doesn't sound like a happy story, right? And I said, engage happy, Mel. The point is this. There are 4 points, and this is research, not mine. The science of happiness talks about the 4 areas. The first one, do we have sufficient material resources, right, to live? You agree? We all need it. It's called vitamin M, right? Part of it. Sufficient social resources. Are you on Facebook? Do people like you? Do you have only 1 like? So pitiful. Next is living in a stable environment. Are you living currently in a stable environment? If all these 3 are yes, 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 you should be happy. But we're not. Because the next one is this. You see, all 3 were external. The 4th is internal. Because sometimes we kind of wait for things to happen, then we are happy. You get it? It's like conditional of this, yeah? Huh? If your parents say, you understand what I'm trying to say? Huh? You have to study hard, huh? Study, huh? Then you get the score, then I love you, Lord. Right? Noah. Isn't that true? You might say it in a different way. I'm a parent, I have 3 children. And I try very hard to stop saying things like that. Even though I've grown up in that same environment. So my possessing of that internal attitude has got to change. The first thing I've got to change every day when I wake up is me. I got to say, I'm going to make myself happy. No, I'm not one of those psychotic guys tickle themselves. No. It's about waking up on the right side of the bed, even though you may not have enough of all this top three. You're still going to engage happy on a daily basis. That's exactly what my son did at 4 years old. He couldn't see the world at 900 plus. Was he complaining? No. He had a ball of a time. And you know what? When I gave him specs for the very first time, you know what he said? This blew my mind, and it still blows my mind today. He says, "Dad, it's a bit too bright in this world." Wow. And so many layers. I hope you're understanding this. Sometimes we're living in a blur and we accept it as status quo. You get it? We say, this is okay. We say, that's okay. It's okay lah. Like that what? Life, huh? Malaysian, huh? Malaysia boleh like that? Boleh. And we live like that and we say it's okay. I'm thankful my son didn't say, "Dad, you wasted 4 years of my life." He just said, "Dad, it's just too bright." I said, "Son, it's okay. I'm here." And he never ever blamed me. He just continued getting used to that new eyesight. That's number 2, engage happy. Number 3 is engage your gift. Are you engaging with your gift today? Because you know what? Each one of us come packaged with a gift to give away. Each one of us. Don't ever think your gift is too small. You have a gift to give. I'm going to tell you a different story right now. My presentation is full of story. You see this man? Anyone knows him? His name is Stephen Chan. In the year 2012, I met him for the very first time. I have never sat down with a visually impaired person in my life. I'll be very frank with you. And a friend said, "I think you should meet Stephen." I say, "Okay lah, just go for it. Kopi lah, Sat down with him, and that 1 hour changed my life completely. And within the 1 hour, I asked Stevens, I said, "What do you need for me to help you with?" And he said, "I need some money because we're trying to invest in this thing called Dialogues in the Dark and bring it to Malaysia." I said, "Okay. Let me pray about it, and let me speak to my wife." Actually, maybe I have to speak to my wife first, then pray about it. You know what I mean? Anyway. And so what happened was the journey of working with him, and we founded Dialogue in the Dark Malaysia in 2012. It is not ours. It is a franchise from Germany. What it does is equips people who are visually impaired so that they won't ever be called just a masseuse or a telephone operator. You get it? They're now a certified trainer in Dialogue in the Dark. Isn't that amazing? Oh, you can clap. And so in 2012, we began to start this, and we had our opening at PetroScience. If you know where KLCC is, inside PetroScience, we had one place for about 6 to 9 months. I think I can't remember now. And then we moved on to our place and different partnerships. But what I want to tell you is Stephen was never born blind. He lost his sight when he was about 40. How many people are 40 here? Please don't put up your hand. Thank you. But he lost his sight when he was 40. And he went about in the dark for 2 years. He gave up his business, which was $1 million business, by the way. He had to give it up. And he asked himself, "Oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my life being blind?" How many understand that? Yeah. If some calamity hits you today, will you stand up and say, "Oh yes, so I'm ready for it. Come on, calamity, hit me"? Who's wishing for that? Not me also. But from that, I realized that people like Stevens engaged with his gift. He didn't stop. And that gift inside him was just waiting to happen. And so he didn't stop there. He had glaucoma. Glaucoma is no respecter of age. Some 70-year-old can get it, and some 6-month-old baby can also get glaucoma. So don't think you're free from it. Please go and do your eye check, okay? Stephen started Malaysia Glaucoma Society. Can you believe that? Were there other glaucoma people before that? Yes, many, thousands. But why did it take a Stephen to start it? You get it? And Stephen didn't stop there. He started a non-profit organization. He called it Save One Sight. Went across Malaysia to make sure that the next person can be avoided. You get it? You see, you have to answer the call. You have to meet a need. And then you've got to present your gift. You see, it was my gift meeting his gift. You get it? Being visually impaired was a gift. Because if he was not visually impaired, I might not have met him. It's like, what? Some guy wants to meet me randomly? Forget it. Who's this guy? Are you getting it now? Don't dismiss things like that could change your life. Next one. I've got to move on and no time is running out. Number 4 is to engage your future. That's right. You might be sitting here a little bit older and say, what future do I have? It's already done, no? Done and dusted. No, I don't believe that. Every one of us has a future. The reason why I believe you're still breathing and still, taking and using resources, like we have a lot of resources in the world, is because you still have something to give. Because your future is not arrived. Think about this. This is an exercise I want you to do. A quick one. I've got to remind myself, Mel, there's always a quote after that, Who is this, do you think? Who said this? Absolutely. Thank you very much. Because for 28 years, he was stuck in the prison. And for 28 years, he could have reflected and thought about things, right? So it's a long time to think about it. I know that maybe there's some 20-year-olds here. Just imagine your whole life you're in that cell. It's a long time to reflect over your life, isn't it? But what did he do when he came out? He did a lot of stuff. And he did, this is me, I'm just showing myself off. It's okay. No time for it already, no time. I was there in South Africa, so thankful I could go there and see the apartheid museum. I don't know why it's called a museum, but it's a part of South Africa that they know it's a turning point. And of course, South Africa is going through, if you know South Africa, what they're going through now, it's still in turmoil. But it's okay. It's not for me to say anything about it. But now it's about your future. Because for Mandela, he came out and he became president. For you, if you think about it, 5 years. Now it's 18. 2023. What will you be doing at 2023? Ask yourself. Who will you be? What will you be doing? Where will you be impacting? 5 years. 5 years. Do you have an answer? If not, please take a photo. Write it down when you're free. Because your life could change in a blink of an eye if you choose to make that jump from default to desire. Remember, it's not about doing first, it's about being first. That's the reason for being first. I don't have a lot of time to tell you that, but that's why, one hint, you're called human being, not human doing. Okay? It's one tip There's so much more to share with you another time. If not 5 years, what about 10? The year is 2018. What are you being? Who are you being? What are you doing? Where are you impacting? Ask yourself that. 20 years. It's the next one. If you process that in your brain, right now it's going frying because you're like, no, I cannot even imagine what 20 years is. And I said that to myself. I've now worked for 25 years. And that's a quarter of a century. It's a long time. But it has also just come in a flash. It's gone. For those who are very young, like me, will understand that, isn't it? It has come and gone, isn't it? So your next 20 years, your next 10 years, your next 5 years, I'm looking at the young people here. The next 5, 10, 20 is going to make all the difference. Don't wait till tomorrow. And last point is engage with one step. You see, everything takes one step. Everyone say one step. What is one step you have to take right after you get out from this hall? If it is just to get a coffee, if it's just to, have a fun time out there because you're tired, then you will get that. Some are already going right now, Some need a toilet break. But that one step could change your life. That one step, speaking to Stevens for 1 hour, changed mine. That one step, meeting W. Mitchell, hosting him here, and seeing W. Mitchell come out of the car. And I said, "Can I help you?" He said, "Hold on, I can do it myself." And I saw him come out of the car into the wheelchair. That changed my life. He needed help. But he said, "It's okay, Mel. I can handle myself. I'm a big boy." You see, that one step is going to change your life. I'll tell you a story of mine. Last story, I promise. And before that, I'll just give you the 5 summary points. For those who like to take a photo, you can do it now. Is that 5? Okay? That 5. Okay? Share with each other the photo. One person take, WhatsApp everybody. Simple, ne? Okay, anyway. All right, here we go. Engage story. Okay. 5 years ago, another point of change in my life happened. I went to India because of Dialogue in the Dark very quickly, to Kantari. Kantari is a social enterprise school. I went there in Kerala, and we were hosted by them. And I saw X number of young African boys and girls there. I'm like, hang on, am I in Africa or am I in India? All right? So I was in India, my confused mind, seeing all these young African boys and girls serving us lunch and dinner and all this kind of hostings. I stayed back one more day after our conference and I said, I've got to stay back one more day and interview them. I'm sure amazing stories. And I did. And I met such beautiful people. Their call in life is one thing. Remember that one purpose? They want to go back to Africa and start their own social enterprise. That's it. Not to go get a degree, get a job, find a nice partner. Then after that, engage. Look for a house, condominium, cheaper one outside KL. Then do what? La. The default life. They only had one purpose. I'm going to leave India go back and start my social enterprise. I was blown away. I'm like, wow, is there people like that in the world? I've not met many. And so that brought me to Africa. 3 years ago, actually 5 years ago, I came back from Kerala. In my heart, I said, what can I do for these guys? And a voice came and said, you're a coach, right, Mel? Coach them lah. What? So I began 5 years ago to coach them. They're social entrepreneurs. So I coach social entrepreneurs now, pro bono, last 5 years. 3 years ago, I went to Africa for the first time because they were there for 2 years already listening to me talk on here. You know what I mean? I need to go on ground. So I went to Nigeria, and you know what? Again, what others say. Remember that slide? My father said, what, of all places want to go Nigeria? Why don't you go South Africa lah? Or go safari or something in Kenya? Why Nigeria? And so I went and started making some impact and inroads. And today I am invited back again. And so this is just some pictures. I have started this thing called Catalyst. If you want to follow us, please do. If you want to support us, please do, because we need a lot of help. Actually, we need a lot of Toastmasters there too. That's me with our shirt called Be a Catalyst. That's our logo. And these are some of the work we do. This is the National Youth of Nigeria. This is the association. It was only a small number because there was a holiday of sorts, so only a few could come. These are the leaders. And we also have different stuff. I also go into the prisons in Nigeria and do work there as well, because one of the guys, can you imagine, one of the guys' main mission in life is to set prisoners free. I'm like, what? Is that your mission, your purpose? He goes there and starts libraries in prisons so that he spends some time with them to mentor them over 3 months. His social enterprise called Dream Again. Why? After 3 months, many people come out of incarceration and become someone after being incarcerated. And we support them as well. That's me. And you'll be wondering, why am I standing there? It's an announcement, obviously, because we are, it fills my heart. We are starting our training center there. So we are building in this land to have a training center for those incarcerated people when they come out, to have a continuous learning so that they can give back to society. So it's like a home between home. So that's what we're doing right now. That's my little story of Engage. What is your Engage story? I want you to stand up, if you may, every one of you. Just rise right now. Just look within yourself. It's a time to be looking inside, and a time to evaluate your life. A time to just dig deep and ask yourself, how has my life been? But the question that you need to ask yourself, even as you go internally inside yourself, is what is your purpose? And if you connect with your purpose deep inside, everything else will be answered. You see, your purpose is not your job. You see, your purpose is not just what you call as what you're doing right now, even here right now in Toastmasters. Your purpose goes beyond and deep within yourself. And as you bring that purpose forth, as you raise it up as a glass offering to your own self, this is that purpose that you're going to live with. This is that purpose you're going to continue your life with. Because why? You've got that 5, 10, 20 years ahead of you. You agree? Lock it in there. I'll be outside if you want to have a chat. I've got so many things to tell you, but I've gone way past time. I appreciate your presence and your heart that you're sharing with me. Each one of you has that gift that needs to be given away. Find that gift. Give it away. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Coach Mel. Now I'd like to invite, please stay on stage. I'd like to invite District 51 PR Director Lakmi Chan to present, Distinguished Toastmaster Lakmi Chan, to present a certificate of appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.